Hi, Huda Beauty has been launching products at a very high frequency, very fast rate this year. And by the time I published this video, their next palette, Mercury Retrograde, would already, be doing the rounds on YouTube and blogs and so on. But the Advent calendar post got in the way, so I'm afraid that I'm very late with a lot of reviews. I still have something from August, the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation, yet to be published. Now, today I'm going to talk about the Nude Obsessions palette from Huda Beauty. She has larger palettes, as well as, mini palettes containing just 9 eyeshadows. These are the larger palettes, and these are the minis, so just for size comparison there. These were inspired by this palette, that is the Nude palette. My review I will put in the description box below, and this is what that one looks like. Now, she wanted to create a nude palette for all skin tones. So there are 3 in this range: Nude Light, Nude Medium, and Nude Rich. Now, a word about Nude Rich. I am so delighted that she's called this one Nude Rich and not Nude Deep or Nude Dark. I know that rich is often associated with wealthy and affluent, but for too long we've called people of color dark and deep, and over history they've been, I don't have to tell you about that, I don't have to tell you about how people of color, how people with darker skins have been treated over history, the repression, the slave trade, the lack of rights, the colonial superiority and so on, the enslavement, the colonization and so on. I don't have to tell you about any of that. And I feel that, because of all this, the term deep skin tone or dark skin tone in the minds of many people is still associated with, oh, she's so dark, something I heard growing up. Oh, she's so deep-skinned and dark and ugly, something my mum heard throughout her life, actually. So I am so delighted that Huda called this palette rich and not deep or dark. Huge plus there for me, and that is why I decided to buy this palette on the spot, no matter what, simply because this was called the Nude Rich palette. Now, why did I want these? Was it just because of that? There are a few reasons I wanted these. First of all, Etude House has an autumn 2019 collection called the Maple Road collection. There are 15 eyeshadows, single eyeshadows in this collection. This collection sold out bloody everywhere. There are a couple of shadows still available, but not the shades that I want. I want about 11 of those shades, and the majority of those 11 are gone from Yes Style, they've gone from Beauty Net Korea, they've gone from Jolse, they've gone from Testa Korea, they've gone from Cosmetic Love, they've gone from, wherever I buy K-Beauty. Rose Shop, does it have those? So the shades that I don't want are there. And the reason I wanted this collection was because, recently I've been getting into single eyeshadow looks, and this collection, the PR pictures from Etude House for this collection showed single eyeshadow looks using these, and I thought, those look great, I want to be wearing those. I didn't get those eyeshadows, instead these were available, and when these came out I thought, alright, these are quite similar, I can get these instead. Now the other reason is that these 3 contain all the nude shades, all the neutral shades that I ever want, and for that reason I thought, this is great, I can just chuck one of these into my travel bag, and that's my, look during my week-long getaway sorted. Or, you can just chuck one of these in your handbag, and that's your touch-up during the day sorted. You can also transform your look from day to night. So that's very nice. The only thing is, these lack a matte black eyeshadow, so I'm not very happy about that. I need a matte black eyeshadow to function as an eyeliner, as well as, to really smoke it up if I want to. So there's no matte black. Now, let's talk about the palettes themselves. Finally, they retail at £27. They come in this absolute shite plastic external packaging, which needs to be thrown away. It's landfill, absolutely no use. I wish they'd, sent these by themselves, or, at least put them in cardboard. So, not happy about the plastic packaging there. The entire palette is plastic, which is probably why these retail at £27, whereas, the previous Obsessions palettes were cardboard, not the Neon Obsessions, mind you. The Mauve Obsessions, this one is cardboard. So those cost just 25, this is 27, so that's probably because of the plastic in there. These are made in China. The bigger Huda palettes are made in Italy, including the new Mercury Retrograde one. Now, if you're looking for just nudes, and the word nude is often associated with some kind of brown variant, from beige to really deep brown. These are not brown-based nudes, mind you, if you're looking for those wrong plays. These are mauvey, pinkish. There's coppery nudes, coppery orangey ruddy nudes, warm reddish nudes. That's what you get here, not, you know, the regular brown based neutrals. I'm happy about these because I'm, you know, South Asian, and my skin tone is NC37, and you know, I have yellow undertones, and a number of brown based neutrals, despite the variation in depth, tend to look sameish on my skin tone. Sometimes a lot of brown based neutrals look muddy on my skin tone because I've already got yellow skin tone undertones, and my skin tone is basically a variant of brown. So brown neutrals look muddy on me. Whereas, you know, neutrals with some kind of ooze, some kind of mauviness, a coppery neutral, will not look muddy on me. So I feel that these, that is the warm orangish, coppery, reddy, mauvey, pinky nudes, are not as meh as brown-based neutrals on people of color. Just my opinion. Right, let's finally talk about these palettes. So that is what they look like. And I like the full snakeskin finish there. Nice. Now, as I said, 3 variants. Let's look at Nude Light, because if you have the new Nude palette, you may be forgiven for thinking that these two look a bit similar, particularly this half, right? This is Nude Medium, which is my favorite. I do hear people saying that, you know, there should have been a couple more deeper shades in this palette. I don't really think so, because you know, for me, this is about single eyeshadow looks. You know, there are a few all over base colors in here for me, and then, you know, there are a couple of shimmers and, you know, deeper matte that I need to smoke out my crease. So I'm happy with this one. Now, Nude Light, I definitely feel that there should have been just a one more deeper shade there. Nude Rich, on the other hand, lacks a paler shade. Now, for me, this one is good enough for my inner corners. This one is decent as an all-over base color. I'll be showing you this when I do my full eye makeup looks. And this is a very deep shade. I would have liked to see a matte black in here as well. Now, this one, for those with mauve obsessions, may seem, hang on, let me open this, a bit similar there. Not exactly the same, mind you, there's a white in there, but, you know, there are a couple of shades that are similar indeed. There is a deep brown there in both corners there, and then there's this color, which is here, and then there's this red matte, which is here, sorry, here. So there are 3 or 4 shades there that are rather similar. I'll be swatching these separately and, you know, comparing the two so you can see. Now, formula-wise, the mattes I really, really like. They're very good. The shimmers I also like. However, there are a couple of shimmers with a bit of fallout. So when I apply, I end up with fallout here. During my demos, you will see that there is some fallout here. This is usually the case with a bunch of powdery eyeshadows. So, you know, I'm not complaining or anything about these, just telling you that there is some fallout. Now, let's do swatches. First up, I'm going to swatch Nude Rich versus Mauve Obsessions. Hang on, let me grab a bit of tissue so that I don't end up wiping off on my dress. Now, none of these eyeshadows has a shade name attached. So I can't tell you this is this shade and that's that shade and so on. No shade names there, sorry. I'll come closer to the camera, I promise. Now I'm going to compare Mauve Obsessions here. Now I'm not going to do these in this order. On the contrary, I'm going to do this in this order. So some of the similar or same-ish shades, you know, are placed together like so. So that is Mauve Obsessions on this hand, and Nude Rich on this one. Now this one is Nude Rich, and this is Mauve Obsessions. Okay, this is very tricky. Yeah, I think some of the shades are quite similar. And between you and I would choose Nude Rich over Mauve Obsessions. That white, for instance, is very chalky on my skin tone. I really don't want that colour there. Next, let's do Nude Medium versus Nude Light. Okay, that one is Nude Medium. And as you can see, these shades aren't, exactly brown based. You can see a lot of red and orange to them, a lot of copperiness, particularly here. Rose goldness to them, pinkiness to them. They're not, your typical brown based nudes, which is something that I actually like. Because, the problem with brown based nudes is that on deeper skin tones, not all brown based nudes show up on me. Some of them tend to look a bit muddy, and some look a bit samey on me, irrespective of how deep they are. So I'm glad that there are these ruddy shades. Nude Light. So at least 3 shades there that are just corner ones for me. This one's all right. This icy lilac, I'm not happy about. This one I really like, the dusty rose. That peachy pink, no, not on me, chalky. Now let's take a look at both together. Finally, Nude Light again versus the first half, that is this half of the new Nude palette. And this one shade as an extra, this one brown. And this one here, because I feel that those two are a bit similar there. So this is the new Nude palette. The first half, I haven't swatched that concealer base. Now this one is Nude Light, however the last 2 shades here are from the new Nude palette. I wanted that dark brown there to be close to the dark brown from the Nude Light palette. So you can see that the new Nude one is ruddier, even redder. There's more red to that brown. That is the second, the one in the middle there, the brown in the middle. That's from the new Nude palette. And the one on the end there is a purpley brown. And the one from the Nude Light palette is actually a proper brown more than the others. The rest of this is from Nude Light. Now, I'll just compare. Oh, let me just fit everything in here. The hand on top is from Nude. And I wanted to do these 3 shades together so you can see that they're very, very similar. The hand on the bottom is the Nude Light palette, and the hand on the top is the new Nude palette. So there are about 3 or 4 or even 5 or 6 shades where you have similarity. So these are very, very, very similar. The icy lilac, the chalky peach. It's pinker in the Nude Light palette. It's peachier in the new Nude palette, but they're still very similar there. And the other shades are here. Now, as you can see, my camera has picked up those ruddy undertones to these eyeshadows, this pinky, lilac-y, mauvey, purpley even in some cases, those orangey, coppery undertones to these eyeshadows beautifully. And they're not at all brown-based neutrals, as you can see. So I feel that these are neutrals with a twist, and I quite like that. Being a person of color, I prefer that sort of neutral to brown-based ones. The formula, again, as I told you, nothing to complain about. Now let's do eye looks. First up, the Nude Light palette. This one, all over the lids. This is my crease color. And the primer that I've used is the Revolution Cut Crease Canvas in medium. Now I'm going in with this one on the lids for some more depth there. Right, I'm going to go in with this one on the lids. Now, inner corners, I'm going to make it pop with a bit of this rose gold. Lower lash line, this one on the outer sides. I'm going to go apply eyeliner and mascara and be back. Now the Nude Medium palette. This one is going on the crease. And then this one for the lids. Some fallout here which needs repair. Lastly, Nude Rich. This one is my all over lid base. This one goes on the crease. Finally, a hint of gold in the inner 1/3. So you'll see that there's some fallout here, which is the case with all the shimmers in this palette. And now I'm going to darken up that outer 1/3 with this one. So again, fallout here. Look at that fallout. Inner corners, I'm going to go back with that gold. Now, lower lash line, this one. Right, I'll go do a bit of cleanup and be right back. So you can see that there's a bit of fallout there, particularly with the shimmery shades. So I think the concept here is absolutely brilliant. A nude palette for every skin tone, because you know, nude palettes are not exactly universal. There are shades there that are in most palettes that I ignore, that a number of us would be ignoring because those shades may not be very good for our skin tone. Whereas, you know, 3 different nude palettes for different skin tones, that's a very good idea. I would like to see more like this, you know, different eyeshadow palettes for different skin tones. I think more brands should do this. And generally, I prefer smaller palettes like these days, you know, easier to nip into your suitcase or handbag. I do wish there had been a matte black though, and I would have liked to see less fallout. I'm very happy about the pigmentation, no complaints there at all. But you know, one matte black would have made the lot entirely comprehensive. So, you know, but that's all right. I can take an eyeliner separately and, or maybe, you know, black pencil to smudge up and smoke up if I want to. Not, you know, that's not a biggie there. And fallout is a problem with most powdery eyeshadows. So there's only so much that you can do about it. I suppose, you know, if you are very light-handed and very careful, you can avoid fallout completely. I am klutzy and heavy-handed, and I go there, so there is more chance of my getting fallout. I dare say somebody else who's tried this palette may have no fallout at all. I'm heavy-handed and klutzy, so yeah, I do have fallout. Overall, I love these. These are among my favorites for 2019 because of the concept, because of how perfect they are for single eyeshadow looks, because all the shades suit me. I can use everything apart from a couple in nude light. As I told you while swatching, a nude light has a pale white that is just for inner corners, and that peachy pink which looks chalky on my skin tone, and that icy lilac purple there, lilac icy lavender there, which looks awful on my skin tone. So apart from these 2 actually, I can use everything among all these 27 shades across 3 eyeshadow palettes. So I love them, love them, love them. I do look forward to see what Huda will do in 2020. I don't want the Mercury Retrograde palette actually. Again, there are a few shades in there that won't look good on my skin tone, so I'm not buying Mercury Retrograde. You're not going to see a review of that on this channel. So will you be getting these? What are your thoughts on different nude palettes for different skin tones? Do you prefer brown based nudes, or do you prefer nudes with a bit of a twist, a bit of a mauvey undertone, or a coppery undertone, a reddish undertone, and so on? Do tell me all of that in the comments below. I would love to know. So that's all from me for today. Thank you for watching this video. Please do give me a thumbs up. Please do hit the subscribe button. Please do ring the notifications bell, and I'll speak to you soon.